Hello everyone, my name is Jerry. Today I'm going to build more Batman stuff. So let's get into it. Right, so what I've been doing off camera is I made a pattern. You don't need to see me make a pattern, I made them before. Just wrap my leg with cling film and I wrapped that with duct tape and drew it out. So this is one piece. Flip it over, make the other side, put an angle in the middle, but I'm going to add in details after it's done. I'm going to cut it out on 10mm foam. Why not? I've got a bit of 10mm foam hanging about. So I think after this, all I'll have is the upper toy bits. And then I can, oh Jesus, what happened to my finger there? The upper toy bits, and then I can start putting things together. And then like what I need to do is obviously weather everything and get the cape together and do a few other things like, but you know, after that's not much to do at all. Then I'll do some sort of a suit up video, and sure, why not. I'm going to angle cut the middle bit so there's a peak in the shin, but I don't want it a full 45 because then it'll just be square. So I'm going to go like maybe, I don't know, 30, something like that, 25. And the rest I'll do up and down. I always hate doing these bits, the curly bits, or curvy bits. So just take your time. If you have to do multiple cuts, you have to do multiple cuts, but take your time. They can always be dremeled down or a bit of sandpaper or something. Oh no, I just realised something. Imperfection. I don't know whether you can see that, but there's a little imperfection in the foam. It's just probably the way it was made in the factory or whatnot, like, you know, it's like a bubble. Happens. I've had a copter beforehand, I'd put it on the outside. It's not a big deal, you can always just use it as, like, you know, battle damage or something like that, like. But just to let you know that when you buy this foam, sometimes it's not perfect. I'm going to do something a bit odd. That might seem a bit odd. I'm using two different types of foam here. Where's the other one down? Over there, yeah. Right. So that's CF100, thicker, right? Harder foam, good quality. This is the CF65, the softer one, right? So, and the reason I'm using it is, well, I want to use up scraps, like. But the other reason is, I want to show you the difference between the two types of foam and the outcome of it. So when I have the two of them painted, I'm going to try my best to make them look the same, but you'll notice the difference with them because of the way the foam is, like. So what I tend to do is, for the CF65, which is the cheaper, softer model, I tend to use that for, it's lighter as well, so you could use that for under stuff and then put the detail stuff on the outside. I mean, this stuff isn't bad at all. It's better than the likes of your floor mat foam. Your floor mat foam would be even below this again, like. We just call this good quality craft foam. And but you'll see what I mean when I get to it, like. Don't be concerned that you have to use the expensive foam all the time. This will show you that you can get almost exactly the same results with the cheaper stuff. If I was recommending anybody buy, like if they had the money, I'd always recommend to buy the CF100 or higher. But you don't, this stuff will do you just as well. Right, so I'm going to use something else, something new, and some new glue. A friend of mine from England, from Discord, from the Odin Makes Discord, sent me a care package. He sent me a care package of loads of cool stuff. I'll show you what he got now. So I got 2 tins of contact cement. I haven't tried it yet. There's one that's gel and one that's liquid, so I'm used to the liquid. So I'm going to try the gel with this one. He also sent me some cool super glue, and I have a yoke of wood glue here somewhere that I'm planning to use. The next project is going to be using the wood glue. It's there. General PVA wood glue. This stuff is more than likely going to be deadly, fast setting formula. And I'm kind of curious to use the gel stuff because I haven't used it yet. I've never used gel contact cement, you know. Like Steve, he didn't have to do this. I really have to say thanks, Steve, for sending me all this stuff. The day it arrived, I was on my way out the door to get more contact cement. The postman dropped it off, and I said, "Asher, look, I'll open it before I go out." Like, and then bang, there was contact cement in it. It means I didn't have to go out. Like, so Steve, thank you. I owe you one. When we meet you in England, I'll buy you a pint. Oh Jesus, it really is gel, isn't it? Yeah, that doesn't pour. That's more like, it's the same. Oof! What did I do that for? It's the same stuff, but it's not. Let me see. Oh wow! I wonder if a brush would work on that. Like when he was talking about saying it was gel, I was thinking more like hair gel, but that's more like the consistency of like grease for a car. But you know what? It's spreading. It spreads much better than the liquid stuff. Because it's a gel, I would like to think it would dry much quicker than the liquid. I like to put my contact cement usually in like jars or bottles, just so I can have it active, like, you know, ready to go. Because this gel stuff is can't really put it in a container, so to speak. So I don't think you can. But it'll keep in the tin, like it won't go off or it won't get lumpy like the liquid stuff. Like, you know what? It dries fairly quickly. That's only been a minute or two and it's dry. Gee, that's very dry, very quick. Like, let's see if it sticks. It's good. I'm using the registration mark on this as well. You know what? That's good stuff. It's great to try out new stuff that you've never tried before. I mean, I only sent it across from England. Now that's off centre, but I'll get the Dremel out for that. The only reason that's off centre is because I'm not paying attention, but it's sticking already. So they're going to go, let's say, imagine that's my shin. They'll go around the shin like that. And then I'll put, like, I don't know whether to put like a backing on it. Or just leave it, like put straps around it. We'll figure something else out. I had an idea to put a little trim on it at the top. Now I might cut out strips and line the outside of it, the strips, like, and actually put some rivets on this one. And the idea would be to build something up. But I'm going to build it up to about here. Like, this is the definition of making it up as you go along, because I haven't thought about this one. Whereas with some of the other props, the Gandalf one and all, I was had it pre-planned. Like Ronan Dex's blaster was pre-planned, whereas this is just, I'll just make it up as I go along. Don't know why the first thing I do is bleed and smell it. Just thinking outside the box. I'm looking at down on the floor there, and I'm thinking maybe I just do a few kind of edging kind of bits, and then slap on a few rivets, like, and just leave it at that. Like, well, not leave it at that. I'm gonna have to paint it, obviously, but you get the message. But they don't look right when you have them like that. They look a bit off, I suppose. But once they're kind of strapped on and they're wrapped around, they're going to look pretty badass. I'm going to try one on now, actually. Oh yeah, there we go. They look pretty cool. And I'm not putting shin pads on, or knee pads. I mean, I'm putting shin pads on, but not knee pads. So they look pretty cool. Right, a few straps. Get this thing on me. I'll go with the black one first. So that'll be the idea. And then cut and then go up. But you know what? I have new gloves as well. I bought these for myself. Don't know why I'm not using them. Might be easy to use to not have bleeding contact cement stuck in me hairs and my arms. and on my finger. I think they're for like automotive work and engine work, but I got them for cheap, so we'll give them a go. Problem with using white foam is I can't see where I'm putting stupid glue a lot of the time. If I missed a bit around. Like, this is dry already. It's unreal. It dries super quick. That's that one done. Now I'm gonna put maybe a filler in there or a bit of super glue or something. I'm gonna put this stinky shite away. Don't think I need it for anything else. I'll put me rivets on maybe now, and then maybe put some filler in the corners here and step away and let it dry up. Oh shit, it might be a bit too, no, we'll stretch it out a bit, stretchy, yeah, there we go. Oh, it might have been a bit short, but the good thing about foam is it can stretch. Got them side by side, I'm thinking, I like them. That middle bit's way more curved because the V-groove in the middle, and in hindsight I probably should have just cut them at an angle in the middle and then glued the two middle together and they would have been both perfect, but look, it is what it is and it looks okay. So I'm going to put rivets on it. I should be using a fabric ruler for this. It's flexible, easier to bend around. Not opening Steve's new super glue yet. I don't think I need to. I'll open it when I need it. As much as I hate putting on these stupid little dots, the outcome of it looks deadly. You'd be surprised how deadly tiny little rivets look like. And you don't need much super glue. And you don't need to use any pressure, because when you just put them on, the super glue will sink in, and it might take a little bit longer to glue, like, but once the glue sinks in and settles, it'll be fine. You don't have to measure these. Like, you wouldn't. No one's gonna know like if they're exactly apart or not. I'm just doing it out of, I don't know why I'm doing it. I wouldn't tell you what reason I'm doing it, but I'm doing it. And it does look better in the end, so I put a little bit of extra effort into it, but it isn't really going to matter. No one's going to come up to you with a measuring tape in the middle of a con and go, ah, they're 1 millimeter apart wrong. You're crap. Right, so I am back and I've made a decision. I'm not going to use the belts that I had for it because I only have a certain amount that I want to keep down for the body armour. So I decided to just make my own straps. Like, they're going to go on the back of the legs, what odds, like, you know. So I measured out, I'll show you here, measured out, so in between here is the lower part of the leg, in between here is the upper part of the leg, and I'm going to cut out a few strips with enough on each side, maybe for a bit of velcro or just to glue on. I'm going to cover it with more of this fake leather, and I'm going to make a couple of straps and buckles out of random bits of cheap foam like that. Right, I think it's time to cut them out. Easy, that's them done out. So what I need to do is cover the middle bits in the cheap leather, because I'm going to leave this off because that's the bit that needs to be glued on. So middle bit leather, they're going to face out. And then I need to make a few more, so I made one of them, so I need to make 3 of them. And I just did a tester with some of these, so I'm going to make 4 of them because that's garbage. And then a few strips for the little metal bit. Should work out alright. I think it'll be okay. I need to obviously leave a little bit, I obviously need to leave a little bit over on the edge. I'm just going to do it randomly for like to make a hem on it, so to speak, so the outside will be covered. Inside doesn't really matter because no one's going to see the bloody thing. Doesn't need to be perfect, no one's going to see the inside of it. So what odds? And then that will go like that. And I'll just wrap it around tight as I can, put glue on both sides. At least that's the low one done. And then I need to keep a bit for these things here. I already have that cut out, so. And these I don't need to cover because they're going to be metal. And you could always paint this to look like leather. I've done that before, and there's some great techniques out there if you don't want to cover it with this fake leather. And then I probably would have done it that way, but I started with this leather on the braces, and I feel like if I continue with this leather on the other parts, it'll have the same effect all over. It'll have consistency, you know. If I start painting one thing and the other stuff's not painted, or the other stuff is wrapped with that, it's going to be off. I want consistency over the whole lot of it. But essentially what I'm doing with this is giving myself more work than I needed to. I could have used the belts, probably would have been handier to use the belts, but I don't want to buy anymore. I bought about 4 or 5 belts out of some cheap shop near where I live. I don't want to have to buy more when I've got materials around me that I can use, like. So I figured, is the effort of making these, you know, worth it? And I'm like, these shouldn't take that long at all. So I thought, you know what, yeah, the effort, it'll be worth it in the end. So I'm gonna go with it. This technique of covering it with fake leather is, I mean, you can always buy. I know a couple of lads who use real leather. You know, leather working is not a skill that I have just yet, but it's always worth a go. Yeah, a friend of mine he has a channel called Strict Aphid, and he does leather work, and he made wallets and stuff, and they're pretty badass. Maybe someday I'll get into that. I'll put a link in the description for his channel. What's those bad boys doing? Now, move on to the strapsies. So I'll do the smaller ones first. I think I'm going to slap my mask on for this because the little contacts might have started to annoy me. It doesn't spread so well with the brush on the fabric. I'll put that down to probably the fabric is just soaking up the contact front. And then the idea would be that I'll glue one on there. I'll do it up because I don't want the pen marks on it. And then I'll get a little bit of, just use this for an instance. I'm just going to put a bit of foam in there and just glue that all down there like that, so it looks like a belt buckle. You can see that. How good that looks, whether it looks good or bad. I think it looks alright. So I have to glue that one on. So I have the marks where I'm going to put them, so I have them, so I know where to put them. I put them on the top, so two bolts down. It's not much of a gap between the bottom one. You can see that there, where there's enough gap between the top. Now I measured it right, I measured it correctly, so there should be enough room for my foot to go through. But I don't know. I might have to take that one off and put a bit of Velcro on it in case my foot doesn't go in, or try and get it in before I put my shoe on, but I let it to dry for now anyway. Back from primer. I just put a primer coat on them of this stuff. Just plain 1 or 2 coats each side. There's the inside of that one, there's the inside of that one. I also added in Velcro on them because I couldn't get my foot through the bottom. So I just put a little bit of Velcro on the inside. And only on the bottom, not on the top part, because I can put my leg through there no problem. So I think what I'm going to do now is just paint them silver. I might paint this bit blue with
at some stage maybe, and then I'm going to do gold over the rivets like that. So it's the same as the other ones. The more and more I do this, the more and more I seem to be getting better at stuff, which in turn is making me worry that I won't have enough bloopers for the end of stuff. And that's what I'm worrying about. That's what my brain thinks about. What happens if you get too good and you won't have enough blooper? Silly Jerry.
There we go, that's done finished. Left, right, right, left, it's all the same, innit? I'm wondering if you can notice the difference between what type of foam I used. Now I know because I can see the back of them, but I mean, that's one, that's the other. There's the inside. So cheaper foam, more expensive foam, kind of the same result. I can notice the difference by looking up close, but at the end of the day I'm really happy with the way they turned out. The rivets and all give a good bit of detail to it. Again, I'm not going to weather them just yet, but when I get everything done I'll weather the whole lot of them, so I'm happy with them, chuffed. Now have a shout out this week. This week's shout out is for another friend of mine from the Old Make Discord. It's Shady, another supporter of the channel. He's another one from day one who was, you know, egging me on to try and get it going, and you know, all I can say is thanks Shady. So this shout out's for you. So next week's video I deviate a bit from the Batman stuff, and I'm going to build something for my wife. I have a great idea. I can't really say what it is because if she's watching this it'll ruin the surprise, but I have a good idea and I'm actually excited because it's slightly different to what I'd normally do. But yeah, so that's that one anyway. But that's the end of the video. If you like it, give me a like, give me a subscribe. If there's anything you think I can build or I should build, slap it in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Good luck.
That went flying. Get off. 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 There we go. No, off. It's just sticking to everything.